Di tengah maraknya wabah virus corona atau COVID-19 yang menjadi perbincangan di beberapa wilayah negara termasuk Indonesia, ada beberapa tips yang dapat kita lakukan untuk mengantisipasi penyebaran virus. Selalu terapkan etika menutup mulut atau hidung saat batuk dan bersin dengan menggunakan tisu atau sapu tangan saat berada di tempat umum. Lalu, buanglah sampah tisu bekas pakai ke dalam tempat sampah tertutup. Yang paling penting, biasakan cuci tangan dengan menggunakan sabun dan air mengalir setelah melakukan kegiatan apapun. Jika tidak tersedia air, kita juga dapat menggunakan cairan pembersih tangan yang mengandung alkohol 70 hingga 80%. Jika merasakan gejala seperti demam tinggi dan batuk secara berkala, jangan segan untuk mengecek kesehatan di tempat pelayanan kesehatan terdekat. Dan jangan lupa gunakan masker untuk mengurangi penyebaran penyakit kepada orang di sekitar. Tak hanya tentang COVID-19, melakukan cek kesehatan secara rutin juga dapat membantu kita memahami kondisi tubuh, serta pencegahannya dari berbagai macam penyakit. Jika sedang sakit, kurangi aktivitas di luar rumah untuk beristirahat dan membatasi kontak dengan orang lain. Jangan lupa berikan informasi kepada dokter dan tenaga kesehatan mengenai riwayat perjalanan. Yuk bijak menggunakan sosial media dengan tidak menyebarkan berita hoax tanpa sumber yang terpercaya. Lindungi privasi pasien dan saling mengingatkan untuk perangi virusnya, bukan pasiennya.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat pagi semuanya. Good morning everyone. Allow me to welcome you and please raise your hand if you can hear my voice. Okay, good. So we're good. We're good. With me is the Vice Governor, Riza, Patria, and in the room we have a team, our team from the Provinsi Governor of Jakarta. Allow me to, first of all, thank you for participating in this meeting. It is indeed, we're facing challenges that is tremendous, and we would like to share some of the updates about the situation in Jakarta and what can we do together to tackle the impact of COVID-19 pandemic here in Jakarta. We have been going through social restrictions for quite some times, and this is now our third week here in Jakarta, implementing the large-scale social restrictions, and we do hope that it will go away very soon. Allow me to begin by sharing some of the latest data of COVID problems here in Jakarta. I'd like to ask the operator to put the slide on your screen. Hold on a minute. As almost everyone of you is monitoring the case closely, we are nearing a J-curve right now. The world and Indonesia, we all are still facing a positive trend. We're not yet seeing a plateauing trend. And in Jakarta, as of yesterday, we had 3,835 confirmed cases. Those are active cases. And case fatality rate is quite high. We have 375 deaths in the past 2 months. And if you look at the increase beginning in early March, we had 7 death in the beginning of March 8th, and then the increase is quite significant week by week. So this is weekly data, and as of 26th of April, it reached 3,745. When you look at the trend, March 19, for example, March 29, it was 645, and then by April 5th, it doubled, almost doubled, and then from April 5th to April 12th, it's also almost doubled, and the increases were about 1,000, and now from 3,000 to 3,700. There's quite an interesting shape here that we are seeing a somewhat slowing acceleration. However, this can be due to many things. It doesn't always mean that the COVID-19 itself has been reduced, or the cases has been reduced, but it's also reflect testing capacity. When the testing capacity is rather limited, then we are seeing this kind of trend too. So we have to see in the next few days and perhaps weeks. And we're also looking at the numbers, not only confirmed positive cases of COVID, but also we're looking at the screening and burial with protocols COVID-19. And in the past 2 months, beginning in March, we started to have COVID-19 protocols in some of our cemeteries. What is COVID protocols? It's the body wrapped in plastics and then buried within 4 hours and restricted from family attendance, and officers who are completing the duty, they're using it's like a safety uniform. So if you look at the numbers, we're seeing quite a significant increase in that. This is also part of the reasons why we're looking at this data, because testing capacity is still rather limited. So we look at the burial of those bodies with COVID protocols to predict how many positive cases out there. Assuming that case fatality rate is 5%, then if the number of death is 1,400, then we can predict maybe around 28,000 out there. So those are the reason why we look at these numbers too. And you also have seen this on the media that in the past 2 years, the average funeral services is around 2,700 for the year of 2018 and 2019. And only in the month of March that we saw a significant jump of funeral services to 4,377. And this is giving us pictures of Jakarta is also facing challenging, very challenging situation, just like any other big and international cities across the globe. We are no exception. And because of that, the impact is not only on the health issue, but also on economic and social. So these are some of the things that we have been undertaking. Then on the issue of health, of course, we have to increase the capacity of our health services. There is no healthcare system in the world that is prepared to face this pandemic. So is Jakarta. So we have 190 hospitals within our city. And 172 are now serving COVID patients. And that is putting quite a lot of pressures into our healthcare system. But we're doing our best, and we're increasing our capacity. We're converting rooms into ICUs. We're adding more ventilators, and many of the necessary measures are being taken to make sure that we're able to cope with the increase of the cases. And then, of course, health workers, the medical teams, those are one of our last guardian. If we don't protect ourselves with contagion, then people become sick and they become patients, and then they have to go through hospitalizations, and that's where the medical teams need to intervene. So we provide our best support to the medical teams. And then, of course, social distancing measures are being undertaken. In fact, Jakarta started social distancing measures beginning in mid of March. We have already taken the measures to undertake the social distancing. And then on the social economic aspect, the impact is quite tremendous. In Jakarta, for example, our city has always been providing subsidy to the poor community, to the poor families, and we're providing to reach around 1.2 million people. That's our normal subsidies. But after the COVID-19 crisis, and then the contractions in the economy, we have been seeing a big jump in terms of number of families that need help. And it is predicted no less than 3.8 million people need help. And because of that, we would like to call for as many institutions to participate in this project. But some of the work that we have been doing is, number one, we do updated our data on vulnerable community, and then we start preparing social assistance packages, and for companies, small and medium especially, we provided support and relaxing some of the taxes and some of the mandatory payment that they have to do to the government, and we try to minimize burden as much as possible. And for that, we also need to directly help some of the individuals and communities who are here in Jakarta. As you all have been living here in Jakarta, you understand that this is a city where many migrants who are actively participating in the labor market. And our challenge is that many of these migrants have the tendency to also go home. I think you've been reading on this in the media in the past few weeks, that in the end of March 30th, we started to close down intercity and inter-province terminals for the buses in our effort to make sure that Jakarta as epicenter is not spreading COVID-19 to the rest of the country. However, final closing only took place a few days ago. Now, the challenge is that when we have limited the mobility of our residents, and when we have limited that, then it also means loss of jobs, loss of economic opportunities, and it is now one of our challenge is to make sure that they can survive, and support for basic needs is definitely of our top priority. So here is the groups of people that need additional basic food supply. First of all is the layoff workers, and then you have this informal labor such as taxi driver, and then the informal project drivers, and then ride-sharing drivers, freelancer, micro and small, medium businesses, beside, of course, laid-off workers. And then we have also migrant workers who are here, and that we ask them to also stay here in Jakarta, not returning to their hometown or home village, to make sure that all is healthy. And in fact, if you're in Jakarta, you most likely have better healthcare services rather than if you're in the area outside big cities. So, yeah, what we're now dealing is quite a large number of our populations that need extra support on food supply. So our program now is to invite as many participants as possible to support this, what we call large-scale social collaboration. And for majority of the populations who are performing Ramadan fasting, the holy month is, in fact, is a time for people to support one another, to provide food for the breaking of the fast, for the morning breakfast. And we are now creating a template in which we can invite individuals, corporations, to choose which area to support and how many people to be supported. This is a scheme. So on the left side is source of funds, and then on the very right side is the social assistance target. So on the very far right, the prioritized airway. Airway means it's a neighborhood. It's a neighborhood associations that is formed in every area in Jakarta. So every places you have this neighborhood associations, and officially it's called let me check this. Tadi ada namanya Hamlet. It's called Hamlet. And then so we have around 2,000 Hamlet to be exact, 2,686. Those are the number of airway or hamlets. And then you have orphanage, you have boarding schools, you have nursing home, you have disability home care, and other groups that needs this support. So on the far right are the recipient. On the left side, on the far left, is the supporter or source of fund. So we are now inviting everyone, including you and your company, to support our programs to provide food directly to the needy. So using this program, instead of the donors who are giving money to government, as government, we are providing the informations of these are the design. So we have a website. You can choose, do you want to support a hamlet, do you want to support a boarding school, do you want to support orphanage? So our part is we're creating the database, we're creating the template in order for you to choose to whom would you like to support. And once you decide to support a hamlet, you click an area. It can be an area near where you live, it can be an area near where your company operate, or an area that you think you'd like to support. And then you can just click in any of these hamlets, then the data will appear and it will present to you how many poor families in that hamlets, who are the leader of that hamlet, and what kind of package that you can support to them. So the idea is, instead of us in government being the one collecting support and then distributing support, we're inviting the third parties like yourself to support directly to these people. However, we have partners. Those partners were institutions that has been certified for charity programs. They have been in operation for many years, and they have been working on food distribution kind of work for many years. These are the institutions that will help to directly distribute those packages to the hamlets, to the orphanage, and finally to the needy families. So these are some of the kind of packages that we have worked together with those charity agencies and come up with this package. The first two on the left side is food package for 7 days, and it is ready to eat meals, 45,000 per person per day. And then on the right side, if the staple food package, it's 200,000 per family per week, and that's what's in there. So the idea is, once you decide which hamlet that you will be supporting, it will tell you how many families, how many individuals, and then from there you can provide the necessary support. Again, the idea is to make sure that everyone is able to get the support, and once a hamlet is being supported by certain institutions, it will have a remark so that no other institutions are coming to help same hamlet. So again, with this mapping, the idea is to have somewhat equal distribution of support across hamlets in Jakarta. So these are the website. I'd like to invite you to take notes of the website, and then we do hope that through these collaborations we can support as many people as possible. And I must note that this covers all Jakarta area, meaning there is no hamlets in Jakarta that is not included here. All is included. Now, we do hope that with this we can support many of the families in need. And as you know, the challenge because of the economic contractions is not small. It is indeed quite big, and we do not want to see health problems arises because of this crisis, and we also do not want to see social issues or social problems arises because of these economic challenges. So we really need to invite everyone and to make sure that these families were supported for the next few weeks. So we understand that it is hard to predict when will this be over. I think we have not seen a plateauing trend across the globe. However, if we are able to do the circuit breaking in a quite disciplined way, we do hope that the coronavirus contagion can be contained here in Jakarta. So allow me to sort of end my opening introductions of this program, and we're happy to hear what you have in mind, and if you have any questions, of this program, or any other things related to Jakarta, I'm happy to provide answers. Thank you. Please, I'm inviting if any of you are interested in making a comment or remarks. Perhaps as we are waiting for comments, I'd like to invite my good friend, Pak Tom Lembong. Pak Tom, you're there. I'd like to invite you to say a few words. Please, Pak Tom.
You have to, you don't need to. Thank you. Good morning, Governor Ahmad, Vice Governor Riza, Patria. Good morning, colleagues, dear esteemed and beloved colleagues. Thank you for allowing me to attend this meeting, and thank you for the very good presentation, Governor. I wanted to take this opportunity to chime in, right? First, to make explicit what is probably already in the backs of our minds, which is that over the last 2 weeks, Governor Ahmad has provided extraordinary leadership on this COVID-19 issue, and I would argue badly needed leadership. And that the actions that he has taken have already saved clearly thousands of lives, arguably tens of thousands of lives, and maybe even hundreds of thousands of lives, right? And I just want to share with everyone my complete confidence that we will continue to see this kind of strong leadership and necessary actions from Governor Ahmad and his team in the weeks and the months to come. Right? I happen to be somewhat privy to some of the internal deliberations in Governor Ahmad's team around this COVID-19 crisis. As you know, I'm also very close to President Jokowi and his team, and I can assure you, even the central government would not have taken some of the actions that we've taken if we hadn't, in a way, been forced by Governor Ahmad's foresight and decisive action into implementing, reluctantly, some of these measures that have been implemented. You can imagine how unpopular are some of these actions that Governor Ahmad has pioneered, right? How unpopular business shutdowns and social distancing measures would be with the broader population. And I think what's been very heartening to me is the governor has been, pretty much entirely unconcerned with what's popular and what's unpopular, and just been single-mindedly focused on doing the right thing, right? I think that should give a lot of us a lot of comfort that he's here to do the right thing, right? So again, I know that from Governor Ahmad's team and Vice Governor Riza Patria's team, I think Pak Wijayanto, formerly of Vice President Kala's office, is perhaps playing a leading role in coordinating all of us here. I just also want to chime in and again share my complete and total confidence in Governor Ahmad's program and efforts, and also offer myself as another resource for all of us, for all of you, in case you want to brainstorm or sanity check anything with me. I'm at your disposal. Thank you in advance for taking this very seriously. I think the community of Jakarta is waiting for us. I think the system that Governor Ahmad's team has rolled out is superb in terms of making sure that there's no duplication of efforts, that there's not some hamlets which are flooded with relief and other hamlets which are left high and dry. Again, thank you all for attending and participating in this seriously, and I look forward to working with all of you in the weeks and the months to come to implement this Jakarta-based initiative. Thank you.
Thank you, Pak Tom, for the kind kind words and the supports. And indeed, it is moments in which you really have to rely on science. This is a time where you focus so much your work, not of what people think today, but I often reply to many of the people who ask me questions. Are you not concerned of what people said in the social media? And I said, no, I'm not concerned at all about what people said in the social media. I'm more concerned about what the future historians will be writing about this period. And I think that is more important for us, how then later on people look at what we're doing today. Thank you, Madam. Please, I'd like to welcome if any of you have common questions or with regard to this particular program, or with regard to Jakarta, or with regard to COVID-19. I'm happy to entertain. Bisa tahu kalau ada yang mau bicara?
Corin.
Pak Anies, I don't know if you can hear me. My name is...
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay, my name is Corin. I'm the President Director for Layanan in Indonesia and also the Chair for your jam. First of all, Pak Anies and also Pak Vice Governor, thank you very much for this invitation, for this great and very insightful meeting, and thanks for sharing your plans and how we can collectively help Jakarta in this very challenging period. And I'm also very proud to say that on behalf of Eurochan, many of our company members have been working very actively with the government to support the government in this very, very challenging health crisis through donations of products, but also through financial donations, supporting the purchasing of PPE, respirators, etc. In the case of Danon, also we donated 30 billion to Indonesia, a lot that has gone to Jakarta in the first phase, in the form of products, through products HK and SDM in particular, but also through the purchasing of PPE and ventilators. But we are also supporting the communities that indeed are struggling and suffering mostly, such as the Gubernur, but also other healthcare workers, but also the people in the informal industry. And lately we also started working with the Metro Police, because they are also obviously doing a very, very tough job at the moment to maintain and to enforce the measures that have been put in place and that are so necessary. I think on behalf of our members in Eurochat and on behalf of industry, I would like to ask you for paying attention to the fact that there are companies that have received exemption from the Ministry of Industry to operate, but unfortunately sometimes in the field we see some inconsistencies in the field inspections. So we hope that you can pay a bit of attention to that, so that the essential industries, or the ones that have been receiving this exemption from the Ministry of Industry, to continue to operate, that they can continue to operate, and obviously they will do, as all of our members have done, do that with the highest level of safety and security, implemented all kind of measures to do that in a safe way. So that's what I wanted to ask you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Corin. First of all, allow me to express my appreciation for your support through your program and also through the Metropolis, and also your concern with regard to Ministry of Industry. It is, we share the same concern. So what we're doing is we're expecting every companies that has received permits, if they are not, in our view, strategic, because in the rules, in the regulations, it is clearly stated, if it is a company that has strategic interest to the national interest, then you are allowed to operate. But if it is not, then what we're doing is we're closing the operations. So we're stopping them from operating, and we're doing so. In fact, as we speak now, our team are in the ground and doing the inspections, and we basically seal we call it cycle. We seal the property, and they have have to stop the operations. And we notify the Ministry of Industry once we're doing that. Because health is number one at this point. And it is not a time in which you can have both simultaneously. It is a time you have to choose. You have to prioritize, and we have decided that health is number one, and safety of everyone is top priority. We'll do that. Take notes of that. And so, terima kasih, Bu Karin.
Anies?
Yes, Bu Sinta, please.
Thank you, Pak Anies. All friends and colleagues, Decision saya kembali yang Indonesia Chamber of Commerce Industry tadi Indonesia. I hope everybody's well. I just want to update you that we also have a similar conference meeting with Anies, with all the local and domestic companies, and we fully support the effort of Anies and his leadership in Kepada to help and collaborate with the private sector to support obviously the people that at the moment are in the very need of this humanitarian effort. And I think I have to say that we at this moment, private sector, both from local as well as international, I think we need to really put our effort together. I know it is a very big question of coordination. This is not an easy job, and I think we have actually started this rolling on the ground. Some of our company has started this and has worked closely with the Anies team. Obviously, we also report and give feedback on what's happening on the ground. This is not an easy task, and I'm sure Anies has also been receiving all, not just positive but also negative feedback. But at the end, I think we have to be very clear the purpose of why we are doing all this, right? So I don't think this will be a perfect process from the beginning, but this is a work in progress in which we all have to participate and give also support in how to improve the system. So I think this is very, very important, and from the Chamber of Commerce Industry, I would like to encourage all of you together with us to work together and to make this, to maximize this effort. On the second issue that was also brought up in terms of the PSBB and the Ministry of basically distribution letter from the Ministry of Industry. I also want to reiterate the importance that actually the companies, the factories that are currently open are the ones that are really that needs to still continue being operation. But I also would like to reiterate that actually many we have also ensure that a lot of these companies are also operating within the health protocol based on the decree from the Ministry of Health. So I think this is very, very important that while we are operating, we are also following the rules and procedure. But at least I would like to also ask you to ensure that while companies are operating, we obviously have ensured that the operation that takes place are the ones that are needed and that are following the rules. Now, we understand that you need to also put a high measure in terms of giving the right penalty in case some of them are not following. But I would like to do that. I think it's also important that we are clear that companies that are allowed to operate can operate without fear, because I think at this point they are also and following the protocol are also being now being sweeping by some of the government officials. So I think we have to all work together in this. We understand that PSEB has been taken very, very seriously, like we all are. But I think we also need to understand that some of our industry needs to continue to operate in order for us to obviously fulfill some of the requirements that are needed at this point. So let's all work together, and I look forward in collaborating more with all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Bu Sinta. Point well noted. We are making sure that the COVID-19 protocols is being disciplinarily followed in any of this, be it private institutions or public institutions who are still performing works during this PSBB period. So we want to make sure that everyone is safe, healthy, because we don't want people to go to work and then the next week no longer working. So we'd like to make sure that everybody is healthy. Thank you, Bu Sinta.
Selamat pagi Pak Gubernur Anies.
Selamat pagi, Pak Asdeban.
I'm Stephen Waroka from SOCK Law Firm. We're a member of AmCham. I just have a couple of very quick questions. First of all, when will this KSDB program start? And second of all, I would like to also follow up on some comments in the chat, whereby it would be very great if we can get the slides of your presentation so we can also start spreading the news, or spreading the good news to all necessary parties. Thank you very much for this very positive initiative, Pak Anies.
Thank you, Pak Asdeban. Poin pertama apa tadi?
Nathan here from US has food and
Okay, Pak Nathan, please.
thank you, Pak. Thank you, Pak Anies, and good morning to you and also to Pak Tom and the rest of you. I represent the US ASEAN Business Council Food and Agriculture Committee, and I must say that so far we've been very happy with the policies and efforts that your government and yourself, government, that you're taking. One of the major asks for us, US food and agriculture companies, is to, of course, keep trade open and the food supply chain open. Because we are kind of working with your agriculture sector, especially in my company, which is Ilanco. We work very closely with your livestock sector, and we provide most of the pharmaceutical products to your livestock sector, and also support your farmers. So, very important part of this process is making sure food is available on the table for the people and residents of Indonesia as a whole. So, we hope the food supply chain will be open, the trade will be open, and we are very happy to support all your initiatives. And in fact, I think your current initiative is a good one, and we will kind of look at it. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, thank you. Indeed, some of the sectors that from the very beginning, even last month when we started to have these social distancing measures adopted, few sectors. Number one is, of course, health. Number two is food related industries. Those are allowed to operate. Having said that, it's important to follow the COVID-19 protocols in any of those places to make sure that all workers are healthy. And we have the protocols clearly written and distributed to all companies that's operating. And 99% of Jakarta logistics is provided from outside the city, and it is not grown here. And this logistical support chain, we need to make sure it operates well during this PSBB period. So appreciate your work on this area. Terima kasih, Pak Nathan.
Anies, my My appreciation for your leadership is all to sacrifice homeland law previously. As part of your leadership, we're also contributing quite a bit to help the community in Jakarta. We're going to work just for Jakarta alone, and that has gone to all the various hospitals around Jakarta. In addition to, as you probably know, the PCR kits that we also donating. My question to you, actually, Pak Anies, is to look beyond this period and to have some sense of optimism beyond this period. When we are about to go back to normal life, but it won't be a normal life for all of us. It will be a new normal. But most particularly, what we would like to promote is the behavioral change and how we can really change the behavior of the Jakarta and also of the nation. And their understanding, their awareness for health and hygiene, and how we could really instill this sense of understanding, sense of need to continue to stay healthy and see if
your voice was delayed. Can you repeat some of what you said earlier?
So our focus part is, because we're now already donating quite a lot to support communities in Jakarta. Our enthusiasm now is to look beyond this period, is to